Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. How are you? I'm Jana Ahmed Abdul Sadek and today we'll talk about physics. Actually today we'll talk about one topic and it's a full chapter about vectors. First thing we'll know what means vectors and physical quantities like it can be classified into what and vectors can specify in what, and also there's we'll make cover about this chapter. We'll make cover about vector quantities. Okay, vector physical quantity. So the first thing that vectors is with scalar. That means there's first thing physical quantity. That means physical quantity are classified into two, are vectors and scalars. Here, if you can see that physical quantities are classified into two, vectors and scalars. Okay, now what is the difference between vectors and scalar? So there's like you can say two difference or one difference between them. That vector can specify magnitude and direction together, but scalar only specify magnitude without direction. Like for example, there are so many examples about vectors like polarization, force, density. Force, volume, and density in scalars. Then we have time, mass, length. Actually, length have two things: distance and displacement. But displacement is a vector, and distance is a scalar quantity. Okay, because the examples that said for vectors, they have the both magnitude and direction, but scalar has only magnitude without the direction. Okay, now we know about the difference between vectors and scalar and some examples about them. Okay, but let us know how to add vectors, how to add and subtract vectors. We know that it will be the opposite vectors, the opposite one vectors. It can be first thing by parallel, non-parallel, perpendicular, and non-perpendicular. But first thing, I will show you how to add vectors together. And what is the sum of vectors together? The sum of A plus B is equal to C. What it is? It means the resultant. I will show you how it is. Okay, the first thing we know that when we want to add two parallels, if it is the opposite or in the same direction, first thing like what? Like here, if we have a parallel line, that they are in the same direction. In the same direction of what we know that here the direction it should be, we must like follow these directions. That here is north, here south, here east, and here west. Okay, so where is the positive and where is the negative form? Like here there is y, x, x, y. That means here positive, positive, here negative, and here negative. Okay, so I wanted to ask you something. Is this thing correct or not? Negative 8 kilometer west. Is this thing correct or not? So it's not correct. Because why? We can't use negative and west in the same time because already west is a negative. It's in the side of negative. So that means when negative times negative, it will be what? Positive. So the answer will be change. So that means if we wanted to write the direction here, we will erase negative. But if we wrote only negative 8 kilometer, that means it will be a west itself. Or it can be a south. It's a part like in the given of the questions. Okay, so it was what? About 8 kilometer west. But we can't say negative 8 kilometer west. It's wrong. We can't bring west and negative in the same time, or we can't bring south and negative in the same time. Okay, so that was about like a main point because we will use it in the sum of the vectors. Always vectors, always we are making it like addition and to add them. But how to subtract them? It's by in bracket negative the number. That means it's only like including by the directions. The first thing now what we have here, like for example, I put the first parallel line. It will be like 8 kilometer north. Okay, 8 kilometer north. The second parallel, it will be like, for example, 2 kilometer east. Okay, I mean here no, you can make what east, of course, because in the same direction. We are talking about the same direction, but non-perpendicular or perpendicular, we will talk it about, but afterwards, not now. So first thing, what in the same direction, that means east and east. Okay, now here what we have is positive. Okay, we don't have in the line of the positive way. Okay, so that means what it will be 8 kilometer east plus 2 kilometer east. What is the final answer? It will be 8 plus 2, it will be 10. So that means 10 kilometer east. Okay, so that was about how to add. We know, like, there is a main formula for this, like the sum of vectors. It's only the formula, if you can see here, yeah, C plus, C is equal to A plus B. Okay, A is equal to what? A plus B. This is the main formula. How we know? And when we put a small arrow above the variable or above, yeah, like for example, displacement or force, when we are putting here an arrow, it will make a change. What is the difference between this and this? The same thing, force and force. Here, why we put arrow? Because the small arrow above the variable or the bold variable, it is always vector. That can be like distinguished between vector and scalar. Okay, so that's also another thing. Now we talk about the same direction, but what if they be in opposite direction? Like, here is this, and make what here? We already have here 2 kilometer, okay? And we have in this direction, that means into west, the direction to the west. Now, what we have here, of course, it will not be east, it will be west. Now, we have opposite directions. One goes there, 8 kilometer, and one comes here, that's 2 kilometer east. Now, we can make like west and east, like in another way, and 8 kilometer is 2 kilometer. Now, we know that if you want, as I told you before, that negative 8 kilometer or 8 kilometer west. Okay, but now we'll erase west and east. Why? Because we'll make here, we know that the formula C is equal to A plus B. Okay, now we have C, that it will be like the resultant, or the sum. It's the sum. Okay, the sum is called the resultant of A plus B. Now, what we have here, 8 kilometer and 2 kilometer. We already have A, that means 8 kilometer. What? West. That means it will be by negative. Yes, because what we have here, negative. That means C, or the resultant, is equal to negative 8 plus, of course, because here in the formula we have what? Plus, yeah? Now, what we have here, 2 kilometer. In the east, that means what we have? Positive sign. That means it will be negative 8 plus 2. So, what is the final answer? It will be negative what? Negative 6. So now, it will be negative 6 kilometer actually. Okay, negative 6 kilometer. Now, what we will write? East or west? Of course, we will write west. Why? Because it's a bigger, and you know, like the bigger number, we will write its direction. So that means what? It will be what we have, negative 6. We can cut negative and we make 6 kilometer west. So this is what? The final answer for this question. Okay. Now we talk about the parallel. But what if, like, an example? Wait a minute. If I give you like one example, like using the hypotenuse, that means we'll use the Pythagoras theorem. And I make a video explanation about the Pythagoras theorem and bring examples about it. Pythagoras theorem and Trigonometry theorem. But first thing about it means like equalizer theorem. But first thing we will write about Pythagoras theorem, how to solve that. We know that here, if we have 3 kilometer north, okay, due to the north, and we have here positive, like for example 5 kilometer to the east, due to the east, okay. So now what we have, 3 kilometer due to the north and 5 kilometer due to the east. Now can we draw these numbers graphically? Yeah, we can. How? Because we already have north, that means north. Here we have the diagram. Yeah, here what you have, north, south, and here west, and here east. Okay. What we have here in the north, 3 kilometers. That means here it will be 3. Okay. Now, the second thing, what we have in the east, in the direction of east, it will be 5 kilometers. Okay, we have 5 kilometers. Now, can we find the resultant of this thing? Yeah, of course. How? Because we'll make a line to join the both. That means we will join these two together. Okay. Now, after that, what we have, 3 and 5 kilometers. We want to find the resultant of this thing, because what we have here is the hypotenuse. That means here the resultant. Okay, now what we will do, we will make the formula of Pythagoras theorem. Why? Because it's opposite of hypotenuse, and here if there is a degree, like I'll bring another example also, if it's have a degree, and we will do like an example, but it's need a calculator for multiplying cos, sin, tan, or tan to the power of -1, and these things. But first thing now, it's the easy way for the hypotenuse or the Pythagoras theorem. Now what we have, 3 and 5 kilometers. Okay, we have vertical and horizontal. Now we want to find the resultant. What we will do here, we'll make the Pythagoras theorem. That means the resultant. Okay, if you can see here, yeah, the resultant is equal to in radical, because already we know that the Pythagoras theorem, it is c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. Yeah. Okay. Already we'll keep a squared and b squared as it is, but we'll make multiply by radical. How it is? Because we make here by radical and here by radical. So let's cut 2 by the radical and it will be c. Okay, we can also here make 2 times radical, because we want to multiply the number itself and to get the final the final result. Now what we will make here, it will be c. That means c is the resultant, is the final resultant. Okay, here actually it's the force, or you can say it kilometer, it can be by what? Distance. Yeah, it will be distance. So here it will be by distance. I mean displacement. After that, what we will do here, we'll put 3 and 5 kilometers inside the radicals. That means in place of a squared and b squared, because of what we have here. Here it's a, and here is b, and here what we have c. Okay. Now what we will do here, if you can see, yeah, we'll make here 3 squared plus 5 squares. Okay. Now 3 squared is means 3 times 3 is equal to 9, and 5 times 5 is equal to 25. That means it will be here 9 plus 25. Okay. After that, we will add them. That means 9 plus 25 is equal to what? It will be here 16. It will be 36. I mean, yeah, here if we make 25 plus 9, 5 plus 9 is equal to 14. It will be 34. That means radical 34. Actually, here the scale doesn't have a radical 34. Okay, you can also multiply like by perfect and non-perfect square. We can do it, but it will be better if you use the calculator for this thing. And radical 34 is equal to what? It will bring like by decimals, and I think it will come with you 5.8. That means is equal to radical 34 is equal to what? 5.8. It will be the final answer, kilometer. Now 5 kilometer what? Okay, 5 kilometer. So that means here what? 3 and 5 kilometers, the resultant is equal to what? 5.8 kilometer. Okay, that's by resultant. But some of the people can, like, without using the Pythagoras theorem, can solve this question easily. Why? By the graphic line. Because without measuring, here what we have? 3, yeah? And what we have here? 5. Okay, when you join this line by this line and measure it by the scale, you will find 5.8 or 5.9. This will be happen like the measurement errors. That's no problem. Physics will accept that. Measurement error. But if you do 3 centimeter exactly and 5 centimeter exactly, you will find 5.8 exactly, because the resultant will bring for you the exact number. Okay, so that was about this example about the Pythagoras theorem. There is also trigonometry, that means by degree. How that? I will show you an example by degree. It can be by 60 degree, 30 degree, or 90 degree. But you will use a protractor to find the degree itself. If there is no if there is no degree, you can like use an example, or use I'll make an example now to show you how to bring the direction. This was the magnitude, how to find the magnitude. But I will bring an example to bring how the direction, how can you identify the direction or the degree. By what? Okay, now the direction, we know that the protractor, if you put it, we know that the protractor is looking like that. Okay, the protractor is looking like that, and there is here a point that we put it, the point inside the line, like here inside the line. Okay, and here. Okay, now what we'll do here, if there is degree, of course, here like 30, 40, 50. Like for example, if we make here what, here we know that's 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, if you want to make 60 degree, okay, here it will be what, 60 degree. And here the direction between what, north and what, north and east. So that means it will be north of west. Okay, so like this, by using, or how to, first thing, how to bring the degree itself by using tan the power of -1 times like the number itself inside the cos, or the number of the fraction. Like for example, we have what here, we have this diagram. Okay, we have here the hypotenuse. Now don't forget to put the errors, it should be. Okay, so that means the, like it must be, not should be also. First thing, what we have here to be the arrow. Okay, and now we have here the arrow. Okay, or you can like change it, but it should be like head to tail, head to head, and tail to tail in the resultant. It's always, it should be like that. And we have here the degree 60. Okay, 60, like for example, it's example. Okay, 60, and we put here what, 5. Okay, we put here 5, and we put here 6. Okay, for example, 5 and 6 random. I'm choosing the numbers, and here we want to find the resultant. Of course, we will use like the same thing, like the same thing we can find. Or like for example, there's another example also. Like, you know how to find the resultant by the Pythagoras theorem, but if there's no, like A and B undefined, okay, A and B undefined, and the resultant we have 25. Yes, the result what we have, 25. Okay, can you measure 25 centimeter in your scale? It can be. Why? Because it will take a long, the paper will not be enough for this centimeter, for this number 25. So we must do it, do what, the scale, to change the number into small number. Like 1 centimeter is equal to 5 kilometer. Here we will do like it will be 25 kilometer. Now we'll make the scale here. If you see the scale, what we have here, we'll make like for example, I measure that 1 centimeter, it seems like 5 kilometer. Okay, 1 centimeter is equal to 5 kilometer. Yeah. Okay, over what, 25 kilometer, because we want to find the centimeter of this number. So we'll make here 25 kilometer. Now we will cut kilometer with kilometer, okay? Then we will make divide, like means I not divide first thing, we will make crisscross, after that we will divide. That means it will be 25 over 5 is equal to 25 over 5 here by 1 and here by what? By 5. Now, that means 5 centimeter is equal to 25 kilometer. Okay? So we find the scale. That means 5. We'll put here 5 centimeter. I think you can draw a 5 centimeter by the scale in your notebook or in the paper. So it's okay. Are you agree with me? It's okay. Okay? Now we want to find here the vertical and the horizontal component. That means x and y. Always x is the adjacent. That means it is the vertical. I mean the horizontal. So it will be x here. Now what we have here in the vertical is y. Okay? So y, that means horizontal component. X means y means vertical component and x means horizontal component. If I told you like find the horizontal component of this diagram, what we will find, y or x? The horizontal. Of course x, that means the adjacent. Okay? And if I tell you to find for me the vertical, that means y. Okay, now we know vertical, that means the opposite for the degree. That means it's opposite over hypotenuse. That means what? It will be it will be solved by what? By sin, because opposite over hypotenuse is equal to sin. Sin, anything sin degree, sin 60 or sin theta, whatever the degree is given. Okay, and x, it will be by cos. Okay, cosine and sin. Now we want to find y and x, and we have here only 5 centimeter. How can we do? And here also we have 60 degree. Now we will make that, we know that sin is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So that means we will do what? We will do sin, okay, is equal to what? 5, or the number that we wanted to find. Sin for what? For the opposite. That means we will start first y. So that means y over 5. Yeah, over the hypotenuse, because here it's the hypotenuse. The opposite for the hypotenuse is the hypotenuse. Now we'll make crisscross sin 60 degree, of course, okay, because we have the degree itself here. But if we don't have, we can make like theta. But if there's theta, if there's undefined degree here, it should be what? Given numbers to find degree. Or if there is not, it will be 60 degree and here 5 centimeter, but we don't know x and y components. First thing now we have sin 60 degree is equal to what? Y over 5. Now after you will make a crisscross, it will be sin, it will be y is equal to sin 60 times 5. Okay, sin 60 is equal to 2 times 5. If you can see, yeah, you can see. Okay, now of course I don't have now like the calculator, and it's better to like make with the calculator of that's have the ability of cos, sin, tan. This thing, it will be better, because now I don't know like how it will be, but after the calculator, if you can do it now, like the calculator, to multiply sin 60 degree times 5, it will be the answer. Okay, it will be the answer. After that, what? Cos, that means cos, it will be cos 60 degree is equal to what? X over 5. Then crisscross, then it will be the same thing. X is equal to cos 60 degree times 5. Okay, so after that, after you will times, it will bring for you a decimal, or you can take the twin number before the decimal, and after you find the decimal, you will write it and you will bring by what? Like by the scale, you will measure it in the notebook or in the paper, and you will find that the resultant is the same, 5 centimeter. But if you do, you can also do by what? You can do also 25 kilometer itself, like in place of 5 you can put 25, and sin 60 degree, it will be by 5 over y. Okay, now y over 25, then you will crisscross, it will be sin 60 degree is equal to y is equal to sin 60 degree times 25. It will bring for you a big decimal, I mean, like not big decimal. Not all, of course, you will take the numbers after the decimal, but you will see that there will be a big number that you can't draw it in the scale. I mean, in the notebook or the paper. So that means you should make what? The scale to find a small diagram. Okay, so that was about how to find the x and y components, the components. But what if you wanted to know if there is no here, if there is only theta, how to find it? So now we know that tan theta, okay, tan theta is equal to, if we have the number, like for example, okay, it's an example, it's not the answer, but I will give you example. If we have here 2 over 5, okay, 2 over 5, we'll do what? We'll make tan. I'll write it here because don't like take this sin 60 degrees is equal to 1 over 5 is equal to what? 2. No, that's not correct, but only I'm giving you example to find the theta if there is the y and x component are given, but we don't know the direction. We want to know the direction or the degree. Okay, so now if we have, like for example here, y2 and for x what we have 5. Okay, now we wanted to find like the degree. How we will find? We will find first thing what we make 2 over 5, but before that I mean not 2 over 5, before 2 over 5 we'll make tan theta, okay, because we want to find this. And why I make tan? Because opposite over opposite over adjacent, okay, tan opposite over adjacent, but hypotenuse left it alone. So that means opposite over adjacent. You could also find the degree for hypotenuse here, like if you can make like sin theta is equal to like that. But first thing, solve it by tan. Now tan theta is equal to what? Tan theta is equal to what we have 2 over 5. Okay, so that means we have 2 over 5 because opposite over adjacent. Now we'll make divide by tan, okay, and here also divide by tan, but we'll make 1 over tan. Okay, now we cut tan by tan, and we have theta alone here, but in place like 1 over tan, we'll make tan the power of -1. We can do like that. We can do like that. So that means theta is equal to tan the power of -1 bracket of 2 over 5. Of course, we know that 2 over 5 it will be 1.2. So that means it will be tan the power of -1 times 1.2. Then after you will like multiply it in the calculator, you will see like the final degree for or the direction for this diagram. Okay, so that was how to find the magnitude, direction, and about how to add and subtract the vectors together, and what is vectors and scalar, like how can you like simplify them, and to know that the vectors only like have the pole. Vectors have the pole, magnitude and direction. It can specify the pole, but scalars only specify the magnitude. It does not have any like direction. Okay, like for example, I want to ask you example. Yeah, how long it will take this video? How long I will take for shooting a video? Okay, it's this example. I'm not like telling you how long, of course, but I'm telling you like it's this example. It's vector or scalar quantity. I know now in your mind you will say like, what is the relationship between this question and about vector and scalar? Okay, I will tell you what is the relation. How long, be focused, how long will take this video to shoot, or how long I will take to shooting this video. Now, how long, it's about time. Yes, it's about time. And time, it's separated of scalar, I mean of vector. So that means, or directions, that means time it's a scalar because it's have a magnitude, the numbers, but doesn't have the direction. Like is this video or this question does have a direction? I say that how long I will take to shooting this video or to shoot this video for north or for west, that's wrong. Okay, so time is from the scalar. It's examples of scalar quantity. Okay, another example. The world population. What is the population of the world? Is this vector or scalar quantity? Okay, now population. You know that's how much is the population of the world? It's about the number, like how long, but it's about the number, like the number of the population doesn't have any direction. So that means it's what? It's a scalar quantity. Okay, now if I said for you, what is the speed of the car? Now, what is the speed of the car? That means how is the speed of this car it's going. That means I will say for you the magnitude of this car, but I can't say for you the direction because speed doesn't have any direction, only a magnitude. Okay, what if I said velocity? What is the velocity of this car? Now, velocity it's the direction plus the speed. That means the direction plus the magnitude. Velocity has the both. That means velocity is what? A vector quantity. Okay? And also there is another examples of vectors like polarization, thrust drag, energy also it's for the scalar quantity. Polarization, yes, as I told you, polarization, electric current. Okay, so these things are like some examples to have identified between vectors and scalar quantities. That was about our topic, and inshallah I hope that I covered this topic about vectors, and I hope you that we benefit from this question and benefit from this topic, and you will cover it. Okay, inshallah. Also, I will bring like some examples or like some questions like now to ask you, and we will answer it together to find if it is vector, scalar, and also to bring to identify the magnitude. Not to identify, like to solve how to solve the magnitude or the directions, the degrees. We will solve it together. But inshallah, next time it will be using the calculator to let you see the final answer for cos and tan, and I will let you how to use the calculator of Kaiso, how to find cos, sin, or tan, and in the calculator this will be written only cos, tan, and sin, but there is no sin to the power of -1. That means we make shift, then we'll write it. Sometimes it will bring for you math error. That means you will find by yourself, like as I told you before, like 2 over 5 it is 1.2. So like these things, of course, inshallah I will not talk about it now. It will be in another video about physics, about some questions about vectors and scalars together. Inshallah we will solve about it. Okay, I hope that you benefit from this video, and inshallah next time we will see you. Goodbye, thank you for watching.